I welcome you all.
abatuwuliriza n'abatulaba ku mitimbagano egy'enjawulo.
Those listening to us and those who are watching us on the different platforms.
Amannya nga bagambye nze musumba Andrew Semakula.
As you were told, I am Pastor Andrew Semakula.
Okuva ku UCC e Mukono.
From United Christian Center Mukono.
Musumba Sakira bw'abadde annyanjula mu kiseera kino ngambye.
When Pastor Sakira was introducing me in this period, he told me that he is one of the fathers in this place. But no one has ever introduced me in such a way. They have always been introducing me as one of the sons in this house. But after our father died, you also grow and become fathers. And when he said it, I said to myself, oh, now they are calling me father. But I surely thank God for the wonderful opportunity he has given me. I am a married man.
Nakamala mu bufumbo kati emyaka njerabidde madamu yamanyo jigatta naye nga nawasa mu 92.
I married in 1992, so I have a little bit forgotten the years.
Toza jiberanga 29.
I think they are about 29 years.
Amen. Nebaza Katonda olwekyo tuzadde abaana.
We thank the Lord for that. We have begot children.
Ateera n'abaana kati natandise okufumbiza.
And I have started sending others into marriage.
Nebaza Katonda nti mu kanisa eno mwennyini nga ne bishop mwali ate yagatta muwala wange.
I thank the Lord. I thank the Lord because in this very church, in the presence of the bishop, he wedded my daughter.
Nina ensonga endeese olunaku olwaleero.
I have an issue that has brought me today.
Ekisooka nziza okuwa ekigambo eky'olwaleero.
First of all, I have come to give you the word of today.
Naye nga sinaba kikuwa njagala kutemera ku UCC wa gyevudde.
But before I give you the word, I want to tell you where UCC has come from.
Okutuusa taata waffe lwawumudde n'okutuusa mu kiseera kya kaakati.
Till when our dad rested and even till today.
Taata waffe yawumudde.
Our father rested.
Naye ate eggulu lyasigadde lyo ligenda mu maaso.
But the heavens continued.
Era twalumiddwa ffenna ng'abaana.
We were all attacked as children.
Kubanga gano ge mazima Bishop abadde n'abaana bangi betayinza na kumanya.
Because this is the truth, Bishop had so many children and some we are even not aware of.
Naye ebintu bwe bityo ebyakula.
But that's the way things are.
Ba Ibrahim bavaawo.
The Abrahams go away.
Ba Isaaka ne baddawo.
The Isaac has come.
Ba Isaaka ne bavaawo.
Then the Isaacs go away.
Ba Yakobo ne baddawo.
The Jacobs come.
Ba Yakobo ne bavaawo.
And the Jacobs go away.
Isirayiri neeyimirira.
Israel still stands.
Eggulu bw'etyo birikola.
That's how the heavens work.
Ne Eriyo yali omusajja ow'amaanyi, yali omusajja omusabi.
Even Elijah, who was a powerful, prayerful person,
yali musajja w'amaanyi nga musabi.
He was a mighty and prayerful person.
Musajja ng'ayita omuliro.
A man who would call upon fire.
Naye Katonda era yamutwala.
But still God took him.
Yamusindikira amagaali ne gamutwala.
He sent for him chariots that took him away.
Nali studyinga ku Eriya.
I was studying about Elijah
ali ne Elisa.
And Elisha.
Amagaali bwe gajja okutwala Eriya.
When the chariots came to take away Elijah,
Elisa teyagerippako yagamba waaye genda n'amagaali gonze kanjira nsigala.
Elisha didn't cling to the chariots also to be taken, but he decided that let Elijah be taken, let me be remaining behind.
N'omunagiro guno gwennyini.
And even this very mantle.
Osanga gwe yandiyekutteko naye n'agendera kuli naye yakayana bukayanyi n'aga nti waaye nkasukireko munagiro naye nga mugo waaye gwe genda n'amagaali.
He would have clung to that cloak and say, let me go with you. But he said, no, just throw the cloak and you continue with your chariots. And he came back praising. And he said, oh, my master has gone in glory. You would ask him, but why didn't you also go with him? He says, no, let him go first. This is what I want to bring out.
eggulu lyo lisigala litambula nga ligenda mu maaso n'obwakabaka bwe butyo.
The heaven continues to go forward, and likewise is the kingdom.
Era njagala okuzzaamu amaanyi ali eyo yenna.
And I want to encourage whoever is there.
Ng'okusaba obadde wakendeera okusaba ng'olowooza nti bishop yafa, bishop si yali katondawo, katonda akyatudde ku nnamulondo.
When you had deteriorated in your prayer life, saying that the bishop died, bishop was not your God, God is still enthroned.
Era kino kye kiseera ate eky'okugolokoka mu maanyi oteeke mu maaso ebyo bishop bye yakuyigiriza ne bye wamuwulirako osobole okuyimirira mu lugendo, naawe ekiseera nga kituuse naawe ogende ati.
This is the time actually to raise up in power and put into practice whatever bishop has been telling you, that also when your time comes, you may also go in glory.
UCC yatandika mu ngeri eya wansi ennyo.
United Christian Center began in a very low place.
Mu mwaka gwa 1994.
In 1994.
Naye nze mmaze ne bishop emyaka 35.
But for me, I had spent with Bishop 35 years.
Nga tuli naye.
With him.
Tudde wansi we.
I have sat below him.
Sinza gamba nti mu mazzeeyo byonna bye nandyetaaze omuntu toyinza kumukkuta badde nkyamwetaaga.
I cannot say that I have got whatever I needed, because you can never get satisfied of a person. I still needed him.
Kwagano ge mazima bishop abadde ng'omugga.
Because this is the truth, Bishop was like a river.
Nga osenako.
You'd just draw some.
Ne gusigala nga gukyakulukuta.
And it would continue flowing.
Naye UCC yatandika mu 1994.
But United Christian Center began in 1994.
Mu ngeri eya wansi ennyo.
In a very low state.
Omusumba waffe eyali atusumba mu biseera ebyo.
Our pastor who was pastoring us by then.
Eyali akulembera Heritage.
Who was leading Heritage.
Bwe yamala okuvaawo.
After he had left.
In fact, yali awuguseemu.
In fact, he had drifted away.
Yali awuguseemu nga waliwo ebimugudde nga bimanyi ebintu by'ensi.
He had wandered away. There are some things that had wandered him away, as you know, the things of this world.
Bishop yali omu ku basumba abali basumba Zengebe.
Bishop was one of the pastors who were pastoring in Zengebe.
Era yali mwana wa waka.
And he was a son at home.
Ye yali nga pastor.
He was a pastor.
Fe abalala ffenna.
But all of us
twali baana.
Were children.
Twali nga tetulina kye tumanyi.
We didn't know anything.
Naye ye yali musumba.
But for him he was a pastor.
Era olw'olumu yajjanga n'ajja n'atukyalirako ku kkanisa eya Heritage.
And sometimes he would come back and pay us a visit at Heritage.
Bwe tutuuka ekiseera ng'omusumba adduse nga takyaliwo ali mu kwekweka.
When time came, after the pastor had run away and was in hiding,
abaaliwo mu kiseera ekyo abakakiiko baatuula ne bagamba bannange ki ekigenda mu maaso.
Those who were present by that time sat in a committee and were asking themselves what is going on.
Amagye gaffe agaali e Zengebe ne bagasikayo ne bagaleeta.
And they pulled back all our soldiers that were in Zengebe.
Ate era bishop yatunnyonnyola n'atugamba nti agenda okujja yali yamaze dda ate okukifuna ye ng'akyali eri.
And Bishop explains to us that by the time he came back, he had already received it while still there.
Musumba bwe yamanya nti waliwo ate omulala akomyewo n'avaayo gye yali yeekwese n'atugobawo.
When the pastor got to know that there is another who has come, he again came back from his hiding place and chased us away.
Era gano ge mazima yagenda okumaliriza ng'ekkanisa agitunze.
And this is the truth. By the end of the matter, he had sold away the church and everything else. I remember there is a guitar we had come with. It had been bought by Mr. Kato Hussein and it was still brand new. And we said we are going away with this one. Because they brought it in his absence. But our Bishop Stephen Senfuma said, get hold of it, take it back. And we went to Good Times. Our very first service began from Good Times. It was still a small school. And we prayed. And we put up a very dangerous tent that would cause soil to fall down. And in that very first service, our bishop called Apostle Mulinde.
Yajja.
He came.
Najja yalina kwaya gye yalina.
He had a choir with him.
Ndowooza teyaweereza yayimba buyimbi mu kwaya.
I think he didn't minister in the word, he just sang in the choir.
Naye nga bishop yali amumanyi ne musumba Nelson be baali bamumanyi by then.
It was only Bishop Stephen and Pastor Nelson who knew him by then.
Nga tuyise ekiseera kitono twafuna omukyalo omuzira kisa n'atugamba tuveyo eri gye twali tupangisa.
After a short while, we got a good Samaritan who told us to come from the place we were renting.
Ku good times tetwalwayo nnyo.
We never took a lot of time at good times.
Ne tudda mu Kibizzi awo.
And we went to Chibizi.
Omukyala n'atuteeka awo mu Kibizzi.
And that woman put us in Chibizi.
Mu Kibizzi bishop n'atusitula.
And while in Chibizi, the bishop carried us.
N'atugamba tuzimbe ekkanisa.
And he told us, let's build a church.
N'atugamba tugenda kuzimba ekkanisa nga y'amabaati 100.
And he said, we are going to build a church with 100 iron sheets.
Naye nga mu kiseera ekyo okutugamba amabaati 100 nga tulabanga omuntu bw'anaakugamba nti oba ogenda kugula ekiwawatiro ky'ennyonyi.
But by then telling you 100 iron sheets, it was equivalent to someone telling you that you're going to buy a part of a plane.
Tugula amabaati mpola mpola.
And we bought the iron sheets.
Tugula bubenchi.
We bought the benches.
Omulimu ne gugenda mu maaso.
And the work continued.
Buli mutamiivu ow'oku Kasubi n'ow'oku Kiwunya yafuna omukisa ogujja ogututawaanya.
Every drunkard in Chiwunya and in Kasubi got an opportunity to come and bother us.
Bishop yatusimba ku musingi ogw'okusaba.
Bishop established us on a foundation of prayer.
Twasulanga mu kibaati kyaffe ekyo.
We would sleep in that iron sheet
Naye
structure.
waliwo lumu omutamiivu lwe yagaana okusaba.
But there is a time when a drunkard refused to pray.
Yatugwamu n'agamba nti mubikomye awo.
He came into our midst and said, can you stop immediately?
Twalwana n'omutamiivu paka ku makya.
We fought with the drunkard till morning.
Ng'agambye mubikomye awo.
When he had said that stop praying.
Kanisa tekuli nzigi ziggala.
There are no doors to close up the church.
Twabanga oluusi nga tuli mu service.
Sometimes we would be in service.
Omu n'ajja mu byati byaffe byaliwo ebiti nga biri ku kkubo.
Our iron sheets were along the way.
N'akwate omuti n'agenda ng'ayisaako be. Jjukira ebyuma bye twalina ebyuma nga by'amaanyi nnyo nga ŋŋoma.
And this person will get a piece of stick and begin to scratch along the iron sheets to and fro. And remember, the machines we had by then were drums.
Era omukubi w'ebyuma eyali asinga omukugu ennyo nga bamuyita omusumba Efulayimu Nnyonyi Ntono.
And the greatest instrumentalist that we had of the time was Apostle Ephraim Nnyonyi Ntono.
Omulala yenna bw'agikwata tugira ntugamba mukyuse Nnyonyi Ntono ng'alina engeri gy'akubamu eŋŋoma. Ffe ne tulaba ensi yonna nga tugimazeeyo ng'agikuba n'owulira ng'esinda muneeno esinda mune tuwulira ntugamba nti ne bw'akomawo kaakati ensi yonna tugimazeeyo.
And if anyone else would go on those drums, we would not feel okay. We would wish Apostle to go on those drums because there is a way he used to drum and you really feel like the whole heavens have come.
Twagenda tulinnyako mpola.
We went on going to another level.
Tufuna omusumba ennaku ezo yawummudde. In fact yasoose bishop ennaku nga bbiri nga bamuyita musumba Kaddu Bernard.
We got a pastor who actually also rested 2 days before our bishop rested, called Pastor Kaddu Bernard.
Yatupangisanga akalanga 1000 zaalinga 3
We had an advert that we used to make and it was always for 3,000.
Katongole oyo yali era nga amanyi okuyiiyayiiya alina engeri gye yakagiraagira naye kalinga akantu kaawaka bwe kati n'akajjajjangamu amaloboozi.
Katongole is always good at thinking about some innovating things, and there's something that he innovated that he would bring voices from it.
Kati ne tukagatta.
And so we joined it up.
Tugatte akalanga.
We joined up the keyboard with the microphone that was around. And the apostle would go on the drums. And then we would have everything done. Now you would really see when we have someone on the drums and another one is on the keyboard, and we would really sweat.
Ne balowooza nti ebintu bibeera bwe bityo naye Katonda bw'abanga ayisa omuntu asobola okumugabirira ate asobola omumuyimusa.
Why am I saying all this? I want to show you where UCC has come from, because some of you see it in its present state, But I want you to know that God can pick someone from anywhere and provide for that person.
Ate n'ekirala era kye twebaza Katonda nti omukulembeze waffe yalina okwolesebwa.
And another thing that we thank God for is that our leader had a vision.
Twamugoberera olw'okwolesebwa ng'atulaga mu maaso gye tugenda.
And we would follow him because of the vision that he had. He would show us ahead of time where we are going.
Twatuuka ekiseera.
Time came.
N'agamba tugenda kutuuka ekiseera ng'ayogera ebigambo by'olabanga biringanga omuntu oba kikiika nga kati bwe banaakugamba ggweyo gy'oli ne bakugamba nti essaawa yonna bakufuula prime minister.
He would speak words that are not easy to comprehend, just like they would tell you wherever you are that anytime you're going to become a prime minister.
N'agamba nti tugenda kugula ekittaka mu kitundu kino.
And he said we are going to buy a very big plot of land in this place.
Naye natunulanga mu Kasubi ne nnoonya we tugenda okugula nga Kasubi nga bwe mumanyi kayumba ku kayumba n'ogamba tulirugulawa tulirumba Ssaabasajja ku lubiri lwe tulikola ki?
But I would look around in Kasubi. As you know, Kasubi, it's house after house after house. And I would wonder where we are surely going to buy this land. Are we going to go to the king's place and buy that land?
Naye Katonda bw'abanga akuyise era akuteekerateekera n'ekifo wawo ogenda okukolera emirimu gyo.
But when God calls you, he also prepares for you a place in which you are going to do your things from.
Ekyewuunyo
In an amazing way,
twafuna ekifo wano eno.
we got a place here.
Naye nga tetulina ssente ge mazima.
But the truth is that we didn't have money.
Essente ezaaweebwangayo
The money that would be offered in church.
kati musobola okutulaba nga kaakati bwe nnyambadde ntaddeko n'ekkooti zenna n'ettaayi.
You would see us the way we are, just like I'm clothed today. I have a suit, I have a coat, I have a tie.
Naye gano ge mazima.
But this is the truth.
Ne bwe twajjira wano.
Even at the time when we came here,
omugagga waffe yali asinga wano obugagga baali bamuyita Makune nga yalina eggaali nga yagipaakinga awo.
the richest man in this place was called Makune, and he had a bicycle. He would come and park it there.
ng'essente ze tuwaayo nga zimaze okuweebwayo
And all the money after being given or offered,
nga zakusaasira.
he would have mass on it.
Ne tujja mu kifo kino
We came in this place.
baakitugamba miliyoni emu n'ekitundu.
They told us 1.5 millions.
Naye mu bulumi twali tumaze nga Bishop yatugamba essente ezo engeri gye tuzifunamu zonna tuziteeke ku akawunti.
But in great pain, the bishop had told us that the whole money that we get, let's put it on the account.
Ne yeerumya.
And we suffocated.
Waliwo omu eyagenda n'agenda waliwo okuba Bishop yave ezengebe alina omukyala we yasula eyamuwa ruumu.
There is a place that he used to rent when he came from Zengebe.
Ne bamugamba ebintu obireeta ddi?
And they asked him when he was to bring his things.
N'agamba bijja.
And he said they are coming.
Naye twamanya luvannyuma bwe yatunnyonnyola n'agamba nti saayinaayo kintu kye nali ndeeta tekyaliyo.
But we got to know later that he had nothing to bring.
Abaana abamu baba bagiraagira bwe bati mu ruumu gye baali bamuwadde nga kuliko kakateni bwe kati.
When some of the children were playing around in the room he had been given with a curtain,
abaana ab'ekyejo
those full children,
Bishop gy'asula.
and he opened the curtain to see where the bishop sleeps.
Yakomawo n'atuwa obujulizi.
He came back and testified.
Naga naye abange omusajja atukulembera mumanyi bwe yeebaka.
And he said, but do you know how the man who leads us sleeps?
Nawe njudde kakateni.
I drew away the curtain.
Omusajja agwa ku mukeeka.
The man sleeps on a mat.
Tekuli wadde akatto.
There is nothing like any bed.
Talina kapiro.
He has no pillow.
Nga ku mukeeka kwagwa.
He has nothing. He lays on the mat.
Eyo Bishop gye yatandikira.
That's where Bishop began from.
Ne twebaza Katonda.
But we thank the Lord
olw'omulimu omunene.
for the great work.
Ne tujja ne tugula wano.
We came and bought this
Era bwe
place.
tugamba okugula.
And when we saying buy,
Oyo naye Katonda.
that is also God.
Simanyi ndagaano mmeka ze twakola mu kugula wano.
I don't know how many agreements we made in buying this place.
Mu kiseera ekyo nze nali ng'omuwandiisi.
By that time, I was the secretary.
Nga nze muwandiisi.
I was the secretary.
Era kati bwe ndaba abantu abaana be tufunye abawandiika noweeraba nga gwe wali omuwandiisi naye oweesekerera ekisa kya Katonda abange kiyamba.
When you see the the people we have today who are secretaries, and you remember I was also secretary, surely you wonder the grace of God is sufficient. And I was also the security guard over the things of the church. All those titles and documents. First gave them 500,000. Went back and declared in the church. And the bishop said, we have so far paid 500,000 on the land. The church ran crazy. And we started contributing. When we got 100,000 and went giving in, that's how we started till we reached this point. This place was so dangerous. I remember there is a time we were called in the LOC. We went with Katongole. They told us to go there and explain why we are shouting for them. And Bishop said, Semakula and Katongole, please go. And we sat in that council. They never knew us. This is what they said. These people are shouting for us. But what can we do? The counselor was there, told them, you leave alone those people. They have brought. You remember that no one would pass in that place. But when those men came, are you seeing how the place is prospering? When God calls you, even your neighbors can notice it, and even the whole place will begin to prosper. And I have a very big story. But one of our strength, the strength of UCC that has helped us reach this place, it has been unity. We don't know where Bishop got all that wisdom, depending on his academic level. And he allowed to be revealed to it that we may all work together. And another secret that he had, which I'm praying for to also have it, he knows how to keep people. Now when you see all those years, by the way, I stand here as the leader of the elders, and I was sent from the council, the council of the elders, and all the pastors. We sat together, and they sent me this day that I may come and minister, and I show you where we have come from. And after that I will give you the word in a few minutes. But Bishop taught us so many things. We are what we are because of him. Another thing he taught us, humility. And another thing I'm going to talk about, obeying the leader. It is one of the things that has helped us to stay together. He called us and put us together. And this is the truth. He gave us whatever he felt that we needed. We didn't know how to read the Bible. He would make us sit here at night. And he says open. And we begin chapter after chapter. And we went on reading. We sat down for a very long time when he does not permit us to minister. But still, surely, we also didn't want, because we didn't know what to minister in. Let me testify on the first day he told me that you're going to minister. We were in the meeting, and this is what he said. This week, we would meet from Monday to Friday. He said, who is going to minister? Yet for him he knows it. He said, Semakula is the one going to minister.
Nentuyana nenkala nentuyana nenkala.
I was sweating and drying up.
Siweerezangako.
I have never ministered.
Nenzirayo kate nga amaze okwogera.
I went back home.
Neŋŋamba oba n'akikyusa teyakikyusa.
And I thought maybe he would change, but he didn't change.
Neŋŋenda nempandiika ebintu byange.
I went and wrote down my things.
Nawandiika kumpi ekitabo kiramba.
I wrote almost the whole book.
Ng'obaka njagala ate nsome busome.
I wanted to just read the
Ne bwe
message.
nagiranga munne nga ajja kukyusa.
But whenever I would come back, I would say maybe he will change.
Olunaku bwe lwatuuka.
When the day came,
Ne nzijja n'ebitabo byange.
I came with my
Ne
books,
Bible.
with the Bible.
Ne nga ajja kukyusa.
And I said, no, he will change.
N'alinnya ku kituuti.
He stepped on the pulpit
N'asooka n'ayimba.
and first sang.
N'asabisa.
He also led in prayer.
Nga nze ndi wali njugumira bwe nti.
And I was there shaking.
Bamanaga nti katwanize omuweereza ow'olwaleero nali manya akivuddeko. Andrew Semakula ajja atuwa ekigambo.
And after he said, let's welcome today's servant, Andrew Semakula, to come and give us the word.
Ne nninya n'ebintu byange bye nali mpandiise nga bingi nnyo 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 nnyo.
I came on the pulpit with the things I had written. There were so many.
Bwe mbiwandiika nga kaakati mbibuulirako mwaka.
If I write them now, I would preach for a year.
Ne mbitandika.
I started,
Ne nsoma.
I read,
Ne mbuulira.
I preached.
Ebintu bye nawandiika nga bingi oba byekwata bitya simanyi nagenda okulanga biweddeyo.
The many things that I had written, I don't know how they got stuck somewhere. I only realized that they were over.
Ne nsabisa.
I led in prayer
Ne muyita bishop.
and I called the bishop
N'agamba
back.
mukube engalo.
And he said, clap your hands.
Kigambo ky'amaanyi.
It is a powerful word.
Nanzizaamu amaanyi.
He encouraged me.
Bwe yamala ne ŋŋamba ehu.
Afterwards I said, oh.
Bwe yatuula wali n'aŋŋamba.
When he sat there, he told
Ekyo
me,
ky'okutteko kyennyini.
that very thing that you handled,
Kibadde ky'amaanyi nnyo.
it was so powerful.
Enkya ky'oyongerako.
You are beginning from there tomorrow.
Mpulira ate nga nnyongedde effumu eddala.
I had like he had again pierced me.
Abadde muntu amanyi okuzimba.
He is a person who knew how to build up.
Atuzimbye nga tuli wamu.
He has built us together with him.
Era tuzimbye mu ngeri y'okwetoowaza.
And he has built us in the area of humility.
Atuwadde buli kintu kyonna kye twandyetaaze.
He has given us whatever we would need.
Atuwadde chances okuweereza mu areas
He
ez'enjawulo.
has given us opportunities to minister in different areas.
Nasooka ne ŋŋendako mu kwaya.
I first went in the choir.
Abakwaya be bangobayo ne baŋŋamba nti tolina ddoboozi naye nga nayo nagendayokko.
It is the choir members who chased me and they said you don't have a voice, but I've ever been there.
Eyaliyo yali mukwano gwange bamuyita Emma ye yambulirawo kaati n'aŋŋamba tambula genda ekiyitibwa eddoboozi toliina. Naye nga bishop namuga ngenze mu kwaya nanga genda.
The one who was there, who was my friend, he told me clearly that you have no voice, please march out of the choir. But yet the bishop had told me to go there.
Ne mpeereza mu biti eby'enjawulo.
But I have served in different categories,
Mu biti eby'enjawulo.
in the different
Ne
positions.
nkulembera ku basabi.
I led prayers.
Kye nasembayo yali kubeera administrator mu kifo kino.
My last position in this place was an administrator,
Paka lwe nansindika ngende e Mukono.
until he sent me to go to Mukono.
Ndowooza ebirala naabyogera mu maaso.
I think I will speak out others ahead of
Naye
time.
bishop we yadde tannafa
But before Bishop died,
alina ekintu kye yakola.
there is something that he did,
Era abadde akyogera.
and he has been speaking it out.
Ng'agamba.
And he would say,
Nze ŋŋenda kubalekera omuntu
me, I'm going to leave you with a
agenda
person
okusumba ekkanisa eno.
who is going to pastor this
Era
church.
gano ge mazima.
And this is the truth.
Bishop omuntu yamulekawo.
Bishop left the person behind.
Naffe ng'abaweereza tubeere tumumanyi.
Even we as ministers, we didn't know him.
Yamugamba mami,
He told him to mommy
n'amugamba ku bakadde abamu ab'enjawulo.
and some different elders,
Ate naffe abantu ng'abamu.
and even some of us.
Otunula ne bwe mbeera baana mu famire n'omanya naye ono n'agenda kutwala ekifundikwa kya taata.
You would look around and say, surely this one will take over the father.
Bwe twatuddeemu
When we sat
ng'abakadde,
as the elders,
ng'abaweereza abasumba,
as the pastors and ministers,
ne batwanjulira ani agenda okubeera ngadda mu kifo kya bishop.
and they introduced to us who is going to come in the place of bishop.
Era njagala kubategeeza mwenna abampuliriza.
And I want to assure you who are listening to me,
Omuntu bishop gwe yalonda.
the person that the bishop left
Ate ffe
behind.
bishop kasita amala okwogera ekigambo.
And for us, once bishop speaks a word,
Ffe ne tukiddamu tugenda ku kigambo kya taata waffe.
we go by it.
Ffenna wamu nga ttiimu.
All of us as a team.
Simanyi oba twabadde nga bameka.
I don't know how many we were.
Twabadde abantu ndoza nga tusukka mu 15.
I think we were over 15 people.
Ffenna twagambye bugambi nti yoyo gwe yalonze yoyo omutuufu ayo yasaanidde taliiko kinenyo.
We all say that surely he is the one that he chose and there is no blame.
Era nga ye musumba Serumaga.
And he is Pastor Serumaga.
Z'okubagamba olunaku olwaleero.
I have come to tell you today.
Agenda okubeera nga atwala omulimu guno ogwa UCC mu maaso.
The one who is going to take on this work of UCC
ye musumba Joseph Serumaga.
Is Pastor Joseph Serumaga.
Ekyo ng'abakadde n'abasumba tetuyinaamu kantu konna kwesalamu kukola ki oyo yagenda okutwala omulimu guno mu maaso.
And all of us as pastors and elders, we have nothing else to say. He is the one that is going to take us on.
Lwaki omusajja oyo asaanidde okutwala omulimu?
Why is that man worthy to take on this work?
Omwaka gwe mbagambye mu 94.
That year I have told you 1994.
Omusajja oyo yali akyali mwana muto.
That man was still a young boy.
Era abalina ebifaananyi banaabiraba.
And those who have the photos you can see.
Yalinga mu kwaya.
He was in the choir.
Eyitibwa Crooners Choir.
Called Crooners Choir.
Nga lusajja luwanvu bwe luti.
He was a tall boy.
Kati okuva ku lunaku lwe twatandika kumpi abaddemu wadde abadde mwana.
Now from the very time we began, he has been here though he was still young.
N'agenda ng'alinnya.
And he went on
paka le baamulinyisa okutuuka ku busumba.
Until he was made a pastor.
Gano ge mazima.
And this is the truth.
Omusajja oyo tetumuyinaako kintu kyonna.
We don't have any issue against that man.
Tetulina kantu nakamu nti oba Serumaga yayombye bw'ati, oba Serumaga yagiza omuwala n'amukola bw'ati, oba Serumaga yatutte ssente bwe ziti. Bw'ebeera integrity omusajja agiina.
We have nothing to accuse him that probably he did this or he took the other money. If it is to have integrity, he surely has it.
Era berinnya ebaalireese twakubye mu ngalo ffenna tumugamba nti emikono gyaffe giri mabegawo kola omulimu gwa Mukama.
And when they mentioned his name, we all said that our hands are behind you. Please do the work of the Lord.
Era abali eyo kaakati.
And those who are outside there
now,
you have a father.
Musa bw'amala okuvaawo,
after Moses departed,
Katonda ayita Joshua.
God calls Joshua.
Ayinza okubeera nga teyenkana bishop.
He might not be equal to bishop.
Naye ne bishop teyali bw'atyo.
But even bishop was not like that in the
beginning. Ekikola enjawulo kasita Katonda amala okukulonda.
What makes a difference is the Lord appointing you.
Katonda yalumba Joshua n'amugamba ddamu amaanyi.
God confronted Joshua and told him, be strong and be courageous.
Ndi wamu naawe.
I am with you.
Lwaki?
Why?
Yamulaba ng'atidde.
If you saw him fearful.
Naye nga Katonda amanyi.
But the Lord knew.
Bwe mbeera naawe osobola okukola eby'amaanyi.
If I am with you, you can do mighty things.
Abantu bonna ab'amaanyi.
All powerful people.
Tebatandika nga b'amaanyi.
They don't begin strong.
Katonda anoonya abantu abalabika nga abatasobola.
God looks out for people who seem not to be able to do it.
Ekikola enjawulo mukono gwa Katonda kubeera ku bulamu.
What makes a difference is the hand of God to be upon your life.
Oyo omusajja ajja kutwala omulimu guno mu maaso.
That man will take on this work.
Ate tugenda kukolera wamu nga ttiimu.
And we are going to work together as a team.
Nga muzeeyi waffe bw'agireseewo.
As the bishop left it behind.
Kati nze ndi we Mukono.
Now me, I am in Mukono.
Naye bishop okuyita obuyisa abasumba tekitwa ddakika 3 mbadde mutulaba nga twatuuse dda buli omu gy'avudde.
But when Bishop merely calls the pastors, it would not take 30 minutes before we all arrived.
Era n'olwajjo.
Even yesterday.
Wadde waliwo lockdown.
However much there is a lockdown.
Kasita twagambye ntutuule.
When we decided to sit
together. Tulina obumu bwaffe.
We have our unity.
Kubanga yabutusigamu.
Because he sawed it in us.
Twatudde wamu.
We sat together.
Ne tukkiriziganya.
And we agreed.
Wakati mu ssanyu.
Amidst joy.
Wakati mu mirembe.
Amidst peace.
Ffenna nga tulaba omu ku munnaffe yatutwala mu maaso.
All of us seeing that one of us is now leading us.
By the way twasanyuse na nnyo.
By the way we were so excited.
Bishop okutuleetera omuntu gwe tukuze naye omwana ow'omu nnyumba abadde ku bigere bye.
Bishop having left us with a son in the house who has already sat at at his feet.
Amuyonsa amanyi buli kintu kyonna.
He has circled him, he knows everything.
Muganda waffe Joseph Serumaga.
Our brother Joseph Serumaga.
Mukama ali naawe.
The Lord is with you.
Abakadde tuli naawe.
Elders are with you.
Abasumba tuli naawe.
Pastors are with you.
Ojja kukola omulimu.
You are going to do the work.
Mukama kasita abeera nga ali naawe.
As long as the Lord is with you,
byonna bisoboka.
all things are possible.
Temuli bamulekwa.
Now you are not orphans.
Waliwo Joshua yazzeewo.
There is a Joshua that came.
Agenda okusikisa abaana ba Isirayiri ensi ensuubize.
Who is going to help the children of Israel inherit the promised land.
Amiina.
Amen.
Njagala kati genda mu maaso.
I want us now to continue.
Ndowooza ekyo kimaze okuggwa.
I think that's done.
Sangula amaziga.
Wipe away your tears.
Akuba amasimu ng'olina ky'obadde onoonye ewa Pastor Senfuma.
Those who are calling Pastor Senfuma seeking out for anything.
Olina ekizibu ky'oyitamu.
You have any problem you're going through.
Wamaze dda okufuna Pastor Senfuma original.
You now already have Pastor Senfuma original.
Ye Dr. Serumaga.
And he is Dr. Serumaga.